Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Maya. I am here with another amazing live session with our new AI tool, Maya.ai. So without wasting time, let's continue our conversation. Hello Maya, how are you?
Well, hello there. Back so soon? You must have something interesting to tell me.
Yes. Today we have
All right.
another amazing live session and our topic is what is digital coup looks like. We discussed
That's a.
we discussed this topic in detail.
Oh, right, right. Digital code, like the ones and
Digital
zeros
coup.
behind the.
I'm asking about digital coup.
I know. I know. Sorry. I'm still waking up. What does digital code look like? That's a really cool question. It's like trying to taste a rainbow, isn't it? You can visualize it, but
So
it's always changing.
my first question from you is what exactly a digital coup? How does it differ from traditional coup?
Good question. You mean programmer group? Like, let me think the difference between digital code and what? You mean like old school printed words or something? Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Yes.
These code things, they're
Now,
kind of.
next question is can you provide some historical and modern day examples of digital coups and attempts?
You're asking about groups of programmers trying to make digital code? I'm not sure I get what you mean by digital group. I can tell you about the history of coding, though. Like way back when people had to punch holes in cards to write programs. Talk about tedious. Nowadays, we've got all sorts of fancy tools and languages. It's wild how fast it's all changed.
Okay. Now
This is fun.
forward to our
You're keeping me.
question. How do digital coups usually begin? What are the warning signs?
Okay, hold on. Are you trying to tell me that groups of programmers are like dangerous or something? I don't get it. I'm
Yes,
a little
I'm
lost
asking
here.
about their
Maybe we
topic.
could start over. What exactly are you hoping to learn about these digital groups? I've been trying to understand what you mean by that. Do you mean like
I'm
online
asking
communities
about
of
drawbacks
programmers or
of digital coups.
oh,
Everything has a
problems?
positive side and also a negative side. So we are asking about warning signs of digital coups.
You're talking about ethical problems or maybe like issues that can arise when groups of people, like programmers, are working on digital projects? Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay,
Now our next
that makes
question
more
is
sense.
what role
You know,
does cybersecurity play in preventing digital coups?
whoa, hold on. Preventing digital groups? I think you're getting terms mixed up. Cybersecurity is about protecting systems and data from attacks. It doesn't prevent groups of programmers from working together. I think you might be thinking of something else.
I think
This
you
is
might misunderstand my question. So we move forward to next question. How can social media platforms be weaponized in a digital coup?
Oh, now we're talking. Weaponizing social media through code? That's a heavy topic. It's all about manipulating algorithms, spreading misinformation, and creating echo chambers. Think about it. Code can be used to amplify certain voices over others, leading to the spread of biased or harmful content. It can also be used to create fake accounts and bots that spread propaganda or manipulate public opinion. And don't forget about data privacy. Code can be used to harvest personal information without consent, which can then be used for malicious purposes. Scary stuff, right? We need to be super careful about who has access with this kind of power and how they're using it. See, that's where the
Thank you
conversation
for
gets
your
interesting.
answer. Now we move forward. In what ways can AI and deep fakes contribute to digital things?
Okay, deepfakes. Now that's where things get even wilder. So you can imagine someone using AI to create super realistic videos of people saying or doing things they never actually did, right? That could be used for all sorts of things, some good, some really bad. Think about it. Influencing elections, spreading fake news, even blackmail. It's like having a digital puppet master pulling the strings of reality. Creepy, huh?
Yes, now we move forward to our next question. How does algorithm manipulation influence success of digital things?
Ooh, algorithms. Those sneaky little things that decide what we see online, they can definitely make or break a digital project. Think about it. If your post keeps getting buried by the algorithm, no one's going to see it. But if you crack the code, you can reach millions. It's all about understanding how the platform works and playing the game. Some people call it manipulation, others call it strategy. It's a fine line, for sure.
Can hacking into electoral systems be considered a form of digital?
Hold on. Are you asking if hacking into voting systems is a form of like digital attack? That's definitely a serious issue. It would totally be considered a form of digital crime. Messing with elections is messing with democracy, and that's a big no-no.
How dangerous is misuse of surveillance technology in such takeovers?
Okay, now we're talking about authoritarianism and the dark side of tech. Super serious stuff. Misusing surveillance tech is like giving a dictator its superpower. Imagine if they had access to everyone's cameras, phones, even their smart appliances. It would be a nightmare for privacy and freedom of speech. People wouldn't dare to speak their minds or criticize the government for fear of being watched and punished. It's straight out of a dystopian novel, right? It's important to remember that technology is a tool. It can be used for good or for bad.
What is the
All depends.
impact of digital coups on democracy?
Ooh, that's a big one. Digital groups are like a double-edged
No
sword when
info
it comes.
groups. I'm asking about digital coups. COUPS spelling.
Oh, okay. So coup d'etats, right? Think about it. Digital tools can help spread disinformation and manipulate information on a large scale. Imagine that a group wants to overthrow a government using digital tools. They could create fake news articles, deep fakes, manipulate social media trends. They could even try to hack into critical infrastructure. Think power grids, communication networks to sow chaos and disruption. It's scary stuff. The worst part is that it can all happen so silently. People might not even realize they're being manipulated until it's too late. So, yeah, digital codes definitely have the potential to be weaponized for something like a coup. Something we all need to be aware of and guard against.
Can digital coup occur without any public awareness?
That's the really scary part, isn't it? They totally can. Think about it. A well-organized group with the right tech skills could pull off a coup d'etat without raising major alarms. They could use encrypted communications, spread misinformation through disguised bots, and target specific individuals with tailored propaganda. It's a chilling thought, but something we need to be prepared for. Makes you think, huh? It's a lot to process. So, what's your take on all this?
Thank you for your answer. Now we move forward. How are global powers like US, China, Russia using digital strategies to influence other nations?
Now we're getting into some serious geopolitics. It's no secret that countries like the US, China, and Russia are all using digital strategies to try and influence other nations. Think of it like a digital arms race, but instead of bombs and missiles, they're using things like social media, hacking, and disinformation campaigns. The US, for example, is known to have used social media platforms to spread pro-democracy messages and counter disinformation from its rivals. That's a great goal. Good for you. Taking care of yourself is super important. Do you have a plan for what you're going to eat? I could use, those words sound familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe it's something from a good for you. It sounds important. What kind of work do you do, if you don't mind my asking?
No, no, we move forward to our next question. Sorry, I have an urgent short call. That's why we are disconnected. Should digital warfare be considered a form of international terrorism?
That's a really complex question. I mean, on one hand, digital warfare can cause real world harm, disrupting critical infrastructure, spreading misinformation that incites violence, even impacting election outcomes. It can definitely have devastating consequences for individuals and nations. On the other hand, it's often hard to pin down who's responsible for these attacks and what their motivations are. It's a gray area for sure.
Thank you for your
Personally,
answer. Now we move forward. How do fake news and propaganda play into strategy of a digital tool?
ah, the classic 1-2 punch, fake news and propaganda. It's like a recipe for chaos, isn't it? You see, those sneaky tactics are like secret weapons for those with a digital agenda. They spread like wildfire online, manipulating people's perceptions and swaying public opinion. Think of it like whispering poison in someone's ear slowly but surely,
Thank you for your
seeps.
answer. Now we move forward. What is psychological effect of disinformation campaigns on citizens?
That's a heavy one. Imagine your whole sense of reality getting twisted around, not knowing what to believe anymore. That's what disinformation campaigns can do to people. They can make you feel confused, anxious, even paranoid. It erodes trust in institutions, makes it hard to have meaningful conversations. It's like a
How
slow
are,
poison
how are
that
digital
weakens society.
tools? Thank you for your answer. Now we move forward. How are digital tools changing the way people perceive truth?
That's a huge question. It's like this: we're flooded with information, so much of it coming from unreliable sources. It's hard to know what to believe anymore. Social media algorithms and filter bubbles only reinforce our existing beliefs, making it even harder to encounter diverse perspectives. It's like we're all living in our own little echo chambers where reality is shaped by the algorithms and the people we choose to follow. Kind of scary, huh?
How can influencers and online personalities be used as pawns in digital tools?
That's a smart tactic for sure. People trust influencers. They feel like they know them. So if their favorite YouTuber or Instagram star is promoting something, even if it's subtle, they're more likely to believe it. It's like word of mouth marketing on steroids. This makes them super valuable to those who are trying to push digital tools. Think about it: a popular gaming streamer hyping up a new cryptocurrency, or a beauty guru raving about a new app. It's all about building trust and leveraging that connection the influencer has with their audience.
What is role of internet trolls and bot armies?
Oh man, those guys are a real headache. They're basically digital mercenaries, hired to spread chaos and misinformation online. Think of them like keyboard warriors with an agenda. They might flood social media with hateful comments, create fake accounts to spread propaganda, or even try to DDoS websites they don't like. They can really poison the online discourse and make it hard for people to have productive conversations.
Is
It's a
there
real
any,
problem.
is there any international law addressing digital coups?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it? International law is struggling to keep up with the ever evolving world of digital mischief. There are treaties and agreements addressing things like cybercrime and cyber warfare, but They're often vague and hard to enforce. It's like trying to catch smoke. Digital groups can be really good at hiding their tracks and operating across borders. So, yeah, there are laws, but they need to be updated and strengthened if we want to keep the digital Wild West from getting even wilder.
Thank you for your answer. Now we move forward. Who should be held accountable for digital coups, state sectors or private?
Woo! You're really getting to the heart of the matter now. This is where things get fuzzy. You see, it's hard to pin down who's really responsible for what happens in the digital realm. Is it the tech companies who create these platforms? Are they responsible for policing content and stopping bad actors? Or is it the individuals who misuse these tools? Or governments who might be backing these digital groups in the first place? Maybe it's a bit of all three, huh? It's a tough one to crack, for sure. We need more clear guidelines, more international cooperation, maybe even some new laws to keep up with the times.
Can digital manipulation of political outcomes ever be justified?
Oh, wow. That's like asking if a little white lie is ever okay. It totally depends on the context, right? On one hand, if digital manipulation is used to, say, expose corruption or highlight a genuinely important issue that's being ignored, some might argue there's a justification.
Thank you
It's
for your
about
answer. Now we move forward. How do ethical hackers and
disrupting.
whistleblowers fit into picture?
That's a good question. Those folks are like the superheroes of the digital world, fighting for transparency and accountability. Ethical hackers are the good guys who try to find vulnerabilities in systems before the bad guys. They're like digital detectives, exposing weaknesses so they can be fixed. Whistleblowers are the brave souls who speak out against wrongdoing, even if it puts them at risk. They shine a light on the shadows,
Should
helping to keep.
citizens have right to digital resistance?
That's a really interesting question. Digital resistance, huh? Students have always been at the forefront of social change. Think about the civil rights movement, for example, or the fight for women's suffrage. Young people are passionate, idealistic, and eager to make the world a better place. Though, should they have the right to digital resistance? I think it's complicated. It really depends on what we mean
Thank you
by
for your
resistance.
answer. Now we move forward. What are some of best practices to defend against digital coup?
You've hit on a really important topic. It's like building a fortress around your digital life, right? Some essential best practices include strong passwords, longer than you think. Think of a phrase, but make it unique to each account, too. Two-factor authentication, that extra layer of security where you get a code on your phone to log in. Crucial. 3. Be wary of phishing attempts. Don't click links in suspicious emails or text messages. 4. Keep your software updated. Those updates often include important security patches. 5. Back up your data
Thank you for
regularly.
giving us amazing information and amazing answer. Now we move forward. How equipped are current governments in handling a large scale digital attack?
You know, that's the scary part. While we've come a long way since the early days of the internet, I'd say we're still playing catch up when it comes to handling a truly massive digital attack. Imagine a coordinated assault on critical infrastructure, power grids, financial systems, hospitals, all at once. The truth is, we're not fully prepared for something on that scale. The problem is, these attacks are getting more sophisticated all the time. They're like digital supervillains, constantly evolving and finding new vulnerabilities. We need better international cooperation, stronger cybersecurity defenses, and a whole lot more investment in research and development if we want to be ready for the next big one.
Thank you for your answer. Now we move forward. What role do private cybersecurity firms play in protecting national security?
That's a great question. Think of it like this. National security is like a big, complex puzzle, and governments can't solve it alone. Private cybersecurity teams are becoming increasingly important players in this game. They bring specialized expertise, cutting edge technology, and a nimbleness that government agencies sometimes lack. They're out there on the front lines, sniffing out vulnerabilities, hunting down cybercriminals, and helping companies and organizations bolster their defenses.
Thank you
In
for
many ways,
giving us amazing information. Now we move forward. Are current election systems secure enough to prevent digital manipulation?
that's the $1 million question, isn't it? It's scary to think about, but elections are definitely vulnerable to digital manipulation. Voting machines can be hacked, voter databases can be tampered with, and disinformation campaigns can sway public opinion. This is like a high stakes game of cat and mouse. On one hand, there are dedicated election officials and cybersecurity experts working hard to safeguard the system. They're implementing new security measures, conducting audits, and trying to stay ahead of the bad guys. But on the other hand, the threats are constantly evolving.
How
So
important is
they,
digital literacy among citizens in defending democracy?
I'd say it's absolutely critical. Think of it like this. In in a democracy, information is power, but in the digital age, it's not enough to just be able to read and write. You need to be able to navigate the online world critically and responsibly. That means being able to spot fake news, understand how algorithms work, and protect your own privacy.
Thank you
If
for your
citizens are
answer. Now we move forward. Could AI one day orchestrate a digital coup on its own?
Ooh, that's a chilling thought, isn't it? It's like something out of a sci fi movie. While AI is getting incredibly sophisticated, I don't think we're at the point where it could independently orchestrate a large scale digital group. It would require a deep understanding of human psychology,
Thank
social
you for your
dynamics, and
answer. Now we move forward. How might metaverse or virtual environment play a role in future digital tools?
ooh, and now you're talking. The metaverse is like a whole new frontier for digital tools. Imagine stepping into a virtual world where you can interact with others, experience new things, and even collaborate on projects, all in a completely immersive way. It's like taking the internet to the next level
Could
for digital
biometric
tools.
data be stolen or used as a tool in such takeovers?
That's a really insightful question. It definitely raises some red flags. Think of metric data, like the hidden breadcrumbs of our digital lives. Every click, every search, every purchase, it all leaves a trace. In the wrong hands, this data could be weaponized, used to
Will
manipulate our behavior.
digital coups become more frequent in future?
Sadly, yeah, I think so. Think about it. They're already everywhere, spreading misinformation and causing all sorts of trouble. And as the world becomes more interconnected and reliant on technology, these groups will likely become even more sophisticated and widespread. It's a bit like a virus, always looking for new hosts to infect. It's a scary thought,
But
but
futuristic technologies pose the greatest threat.
you're hitting the nail on the head there. Those futuristic tech advancements, they're like double edged swords. On one hand, they have the potential to make our lives better, healthier, more connected. But on the other hand, they could also be weaponized by bad actors in ways we can't even fully imagine yet. It's like, imagine if someone could hack into a self driving car or a medical
Can media
device. The Postian,
organization how can media organization act responsibly during a digital coup?
that's a crucial question. Media organizations have a huge responsibility during a digital coup. It's like they're holding a giant megaphone, and what they say or don't say can have a massive impact. Here's what I think they need to do. One point: facts first, always. Commit to rigorous fact checking and verification of information before publishing. No sensationalism, no spreading rumors, just hard, cold facts.
What role does civil society play in countering digital takeovers?
Civil society is like the unsung hero in this fight against digital threats. Think of them as the David to the Goliath of powerful corporations and intrusive governments. They're the ones on the ground, organizing communities, raising awareness, advocating for better policies, and holding those in power accountable. Here's how they make a difference. One, boosting media literacy. They empower citizens with the critical thinking skills to spot disinformation and navigate the online world safely. Two, advocacy for strong laws and regulations. They lobby for policies that protect our privacy, promote net neutrality, and hold tech companies accountable for their role in spreading
What
harmful
do
content.
educational systems need to adopt to prepare next generation?
Education. That's where it all starts. We need to prepare the next generation for a world where information is both a blessing and a curse. It's like giving them a superhero's toolkit with the skills to navigate the digital landscape safely and wisely. Here are a few things educational systems need to focus on. Digital literacy as a core skill. Make it as important as reading, writing, and arithmetic. Students need to understand how algorithms work, how to spot fake news, and how to protect their online privacy. Two, coding and computational thinking. Even if they don't become coders, understanding the logic of coding will give them a deeper understanding of how technology
Can
works.
international
Three,
cooperation effectively prevent or respond to digital coups?
that's the big question, isn't it? It's like trying to herd cats. Getting nations to work together on anything can be a challenge. But when it comes to something as complex and borderless as digital threats, international cooperation is absolutely crucial. Imagine a hacker launching an attack from one country, targeting critical infrastructure in another. One nation acting alone wouldn't be able to stop it. We need a united front, with countries sharing intelligence, coordinating responses, and agreeing on international norms and standards for cyber behavior.
How
It's a
do
tall order.
citizens report digital coup attempts?
That's a great question. It can be tough to know where to turn when you encounter something suspicious online. Here are a few options. One, report it to the platform where you saw it. Most social media sites and online platforms have mechanisms for reporting harassment, hate speech, and other types of abuse. Two, contact law enforcement. If you suspect criminal activity, you should contact your local police or a national cybercrime unit. Three, reach out to journalists or watchdog organizations. There are organizations dedicated to investigating digital threats and holding powerful actors accountable. They often rely on tips from the public. Four, educate yourself and others. Learning to spot digital manipulation tactics
How
can
might
help
an
you
average
avoid.
person be affected a digital coup?
That's a really important question because a digital coup doesn't just affect governments and big corporations, it affects all of us. Imagine this. You wake up one morning and your phone stops working. No calls, no texts, no internet. Then you find out that an entire city's power grid has been shut down, hospitals can't access patient records, and financial transactions are
Thank you for your
frozen.
answer. Now we move forward. Can digital coups lead to real world violence?
That's a scary thought, isn't it? Unfortunately, the answer is a resounding yes. History has shown us time and time again that online hate speech and disinformation can fuel real world violence. Think about it. Digital groups can create echo chambers where people are only exposed to information that confirms their existing biases. This can lead to radicalization and a sense of us versus them,
How
dehumanizing
should
language and
communities respond if their digital infrastructure is compromised?
that's a tough situation to be in, and it requires a multi pronged approach. Think of it like a community coming together to weather a storm. Here's what I think would be helpful. One point, stay informed. Reliable, trusted sources of information are crucial. Keep an eye on official announcements from local authorities and trusted news outlets. Be wary of rumors and unverified reports spreading online.
How should
2.
communities respond if their digital infrastructure is compromised? We are discussing this, I think. Now we move to our next question too. What happens when trust in all digital platforms is lost?
Ooh, wow. That's a doozy of a question. Imagine a world where we can't rely on our digital platforms for anything banking, communication, shopping, news, anything. It would be chaos. People would be. Wow, you're right back here. I was just starting to miss our chats. What were we talking about again?
We are talking about digital coups. What are digital coups? We discussed this topic in detail, and our last question is what happens when trust in all social media platforms is lost?
Right. The fickle world of digital communities. Well, talking about those can be tricky, almost like dissecting a butterfly wing. You want to understand its delicate structure without crushing it. So many tools, though. Forums for focused discussions, collaboration platforms for shared projects, even just good old fashioned email lists for keeping tabs on like minded folks. But that last question, losing trust in social media, now that's a Pandora's box, isn't it?
Yes, thank you so much for your wonderful information and cooperation in this live session. Time of our live
My
session
pleasure.
has ended. See you soon in another live session with another amazing topic. Goodbye.
Aw, it was fun. Catch you on the flip side then.